Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is a screenwriter's rant on Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I don't think Mad Max is in this. Smash a like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 13, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So, they're going to girl boss Mad Max now. That's all this is. Female Mad Max. Look at this shot. This looks like something right out of the Road Warrior. All dirty face, leather outfit, looking down the road. Is that what we're doing now? We're going to girl boss Mad Max. Okay. Don't know why you're doing this. Everything out of this movie looks like it was cannibalized from the first movie. A young Furiosa is taken from her family. What family? I don't know her family. She will devote the rest of her life to finding her way home. The rest of her life? Doesn't sound like she's very good at this. This is her Odyssey. Her Odyssey. Her Odyssey. Hero. Get it? No one's really a hero in the Mad Max world. This is a dystopian future. Remember when B movies used to be fun? The Mad Max original movie was fun. It was dark and grim, but it had like cool moments in it. And the cool thing about it was Mad Max was a cop, and he was there as right at the verge of civilization crumbling. And he gets his revenge in the movie just as, and like he doesn't care at that point. He knows that civilization is crumbling. He's going to get his revenge. He's going to kill all these criminals, and he just kills them. And then he walks away at the end, and then that's the end of the movie. And he's angry because he gets his revenge. I forget what they do. I want to say they kill his wife, I think. It's been a long time, but it's a good movie. Young Mel Gibson. Then the second movie's more like this. It's, desert, cars, and it's a great sequel because you know the background of Mad Max, and now he's in a completely different environment. So it's like a sequel that's totally different from the first movie. So instead of having civilization, it's just guys in the desert killing each other on these cars. And he has to protect this oil field where a group of, villagers have risen up. So then in the third movie is Thunderdome. It's all about Bartertown and Mad Max helping these orphans who are the descendants of the people who crashed on an airplane. And, he's older, and it's kind of the final Mad Max for Mel Gibson. And it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It's got some cool scenes, crazy characters, Master Blaster, Tina Turner's character. Then they do the reboot. And the reboot was okay. Furiosa's fine. Not particularly memorable, in my view. But now here they're recasting it and giving you an origin movie of Furiosa. She wasn't that special in the Mad Max milieu. And the problem with it, too, is she was a contemporary of Mad Max. Meaning that she's about the same age. If Mad Max is about the same age as Furiosa, then Furiosa should start when civilization's not quite crumbled yet. It's like crumbling, but it's not there yet. Doesn't appear that. I mean, there's a little of that in this opening shot with the motorcycle, maybe. So maybe she's caught out in the desert when the bombs drop and then runs out of gas, and then she's trying to get back to civilization, but everything's been bombed, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to tie it in that well. No, they're not. 45 years after the collapse. That doesn't jibe with the timeline in Mad Max. The first Mad Max movie is when the collapse happens. It's like on the verge of happening, or just happened, or is happening. It's not 45 years later. So they're throwing that continuity out the window, which is a shame because that's a great tie-in to normal times that would make sense. I don't know who Chris Hemsworth is playing, but at least they gave him a nose thing to make him look different, I guess. Is he supposed to be playing a younger version of the guy with the skull mask? I think he's who gets killed in the reboot. I don't know. I just don't care about any of these characters. You know, it's got some cool old cars in it, but the fun part about Mad Max, if you use the history, remember her. Why? I don't remember her. She's a totally forgettable character. The fun part about Mad Max, see, this looks like Bartertown, or it looks like the town from the second movie in Road Warrior 2. I don't know what they're doing. They're just can't. It feels like they're just cannibalizing the IP. That's all it feels like. Just take the best from the reboot and all the old movies. We own it. Do whatever you want. Just cannibalize it. Can we do anything different? Oh, absolutely not. No, don't do anything different. Why? We want something different. We want people to see this thing. The great thing about B movies would be they didn't have a big budget, so they would try. They would try to do cool things. So they would make up crazy characters just to insert them in the movie to give you a surprise. Chris Hemsworth's character in this should be one of those characters. You don't need Chris Hemsworth to play him. You should have no-name actors in this entire movie. It should be a B movie. Instead, this is going to be this giant budget thing with mega stunts in the desert, I guess. Totally overproduced. Totally way too important. Furiosa is way too important already in this trailer, in my view. Anyhow, you could pinpoint the exact date of the collapse, and then you could do cool stuff like say, well, the collapse happened in, let's see, they made the Mad Max movie in the 80s. It was supposed to be in the not too distant future. So you could say, like, I don't know, in the 90s or in the 2000s, that's when the collapse happened. And then the technology could be stuck there, right? And then you could explain that, maybe give that sort of implication in the movie. You know, cool little details like that. I mean, you're spending tens of millions of dollars to make this movie. It doesn't take much to make that assertion and go with it. It just doesn't. It just requires a screenwriter and a director goes, hey, that's a great idea, let's do that. As opposed to just like trying to include everything in this. Like every piece of the IP, every little bit of the reboot, just so people remember. It's just not that important. When you try to make your movie everything to everybody, ultimately it means nothing to no one. And this is what it feels like watching this trailer. There's just too much here. I don't care about Furiosa. You should have made this smaller. She even looks like she's wearing Mad Max outfit. Mad Max had an outfit in the first movie. It was like leather. It was like he was a cop and that was part of his uniform. Then in the second movie, he's wearing like a leather outfit that I think was supposed to be similar, but it was supposed to be later, you know, years later after he had roamed the waste, and now it was all worn. You know, I guess she's supposed to be wearing a motorcycle outfit. But so what? What does it tie into? Was she a cop too? There wasn't enough in the reboot with Furiosa for me to even remember what the hell she was about, other than she was Charlize Theron, there to help Tom Hardy, and I guess upstage him, because they were already making plans to go, oh yeah, we'll substitute Furiosa for Mad Max, and then people will follow her instead of Mad Max, see? And then they'll say women are great. This is exactly not a woman thing. It's just not. The character's not really a female thing. It's very much a male thing. Surviving in the waste. You know, we'll be doing it in a few years, so you'll get to see it firsthand that I'm right. Just remember my video when you meet me in the wasteland. Yeah, so do I want to see this? Why? What would be the point exactly? There's no way I'm going to the theaters. Like, maybe it'll be okay to watch some stunts and some crazy crap. So is that Chris Hemsworth later, or is that the same character who got killed in the first movie, right? Or in the first reboot movie? I don't know. These characters aren't that important. You're already repeating them. They would have just, in the old days, this would be a B movie, and they would just make up a bunch of crazy characters. I don't know if you remember, there was a character on an arrow light in one of the movies, I think the second one, and somebody throws a boomerang with a blade on it, and he goes to catch the boomerang, and it cuts off his fingers, and everybody laughs at him. It was crazy, but it was interesting. I remember that scene. I don't remember a lot about the Mad Max reboot, other than Renfield was in it, and he was kind of cool, but Tom Hardy didn't get to do much. He kind of had to split it with Charlize Theron, and now we're doing a prequel. I hate prequels. God, I hate prequels. So this character isn't that important. I think this movie's going to be a failure. It's not going to be as big as the first movie, even with Chris Hemsworth in it. He doesn't even look like Chris Hemsworth in this. And you're giving away all the fun, cool B-movie stuff that would have just shown up. Like, you would have gotten some no-name actor to do this role, and he would have hammed it up and chewed up the scenery. Now we already know, okay, Chris Hemsworth's going to do it. He's going to chew up the scenery. He's going to be in half the film. Because he's Chris Hemsworth, and you got to get your money's worth. You're paying him a giant boatload of money. Whereas in the B-movie world, he might get killed like 15 minutes in, and there'd be some other crazy character to take his place. Let's just do the 3-act breakdown and get past this. First act, Furiosa. Hopefully, when civilization is just about crumbling, and she's got to get back to her family. For some reason, she's caught on the wrong side of Australia, and she's going to find her family. Second act, I guess it's a couple of years later, and Chris Hemsworth has formed his giant gang of misfits, and with cars and bladed trucks, and she has to fight them because I don't know, they're a-holes and they run the desert, and she fights them, lives amongst them for a time, and then slowly makes her way through the ranks and then turns on them, I guess. Then there's a big fight as she tries to escape to get to her family or save them, and she still, she kills Chris Hemsworth, and the other people get away, right? The guy with the crazy mask and the hair, he gets away because he's going to be in the first reboot movie, and then maybe they tease Mad Max, and Furiosa's roaming the waste too. I guess, is that what this is? And then we can't wait for the next Furiosa movie. It's going to take place after the events of Mad Max, and blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, I bet you can't wait. Yeah, it'll probably be put out 12 years from now. Yeah, you want to see a sequel to a completely forgettable prequel? Yeah. Oh yeah, sign me up. That's what it feels like to me. So you annoy me, Warner Brothers, for doing this. I think we can all agree this should have been a Mad Max sequel. If you're going to call it Mad Max Saga. Oh my God, look at her right up here. Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth star in Academy Award-winning mastermind George Miller's Furiosa Mad Max Saga, the much-anticipated return to the iconic dystopian world he created more than 30 years ago with the seminal Mad Max films. Miller now turns the page again with an all-new, original, standalone action-adventure that will reveal the origins of the powerhouse character from the multiple Oscar-winning global smash Mad Max Fury Road that won awards. The new feature from Warner Brothers Pictures and Village Roadshow Pictures is produced by Miller and his longtime partner, Oscar-nominated producer Doug Mitchell, Mad Max Fury Road, Babe, under their Australian-based Kennedy Miller Mitchell banner. As the world fell, young Furiosa is snatched from the green place of many mothers and falls into the hands of the great biker horde led by warlord Dementus. Sweeping through the wasteland, they come across the Citadel, presided over by the Immortan Joe. While the two tyrants war for dominance, Furiosa must survive the many trials as she puts together the means to find her way home. This is done by the same guy, and he's undermining his own. I don't get it. Taylor-Joy stars in the title role, along with Hemsworth. The film also stars Alia Brown and Tom Burke. Miller penned the script with Mad Max Fury Road co-writer Nico Lotharius. Miller's behind-the-scenes creative team includes first assistant director P.J. Voten and second unit director, stunt coordinator Guy Norris, director of photography Simon Duggan, composer Tom Hockenberg, sound designer Robert McKenzie, editor Elliot, and on and on and on and on. I mean, look, the production design looks great. Everything looks great except the story. It doesn't seem to jibe for me. Now, maybe that's harsh to say because this is the guy who created Mad Max, but it seems like it flies in the face of your original creation. Am I missing something here? 45 years after the collapse of civilization, does that timeline jibe with the old films? I don't think it does. Anyhow, that's it from me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. If you can find a more base take, I say take it. I will be at the Cedar Bridge Tavern on Saturday from 12 to 5, and that will be the reenactment of the last battle of the American Revolution, which featured Bloody John Bacon, who appears in Book 6 of the Pineys. Then at 6 p.m., I'm going to attempt to get back or drive an hour to get to Laurel Springs, New Jersey for their night market, which is from 6 to 9. I'd probably be a little late. Then on Sunday, there is another holiday market at Valari's in Sicklerville from 9 a.m. to 1. There is a danger of rain, but I'll keep you apprised. And that's it. We'll see you